you're taking a strong role in taking this to the next level by developing apprenticeships. So Germany, the UK are examples. These are in traditional areas like manufacturing, but also in services. So is there a plan for this within the administration's forward-looking plans?
Absolutely, and we work very closely with organized labor to provide those apprenticeship programs, and we need to grow them, and it is, as I said with my story about Ursula, it is the best way to develop that pathway for the future. And it's not just apprenticeships, I can't go back to Washington without mentioning one of the First Lady's important initiatives that we're also working closely with the private sector on, and in fact today there was an announcement that the construction industry is going to create 100,000 jobs for our veterans as they come home. And we have found an enormous amount of interest in the private sector to helping hire our veterans. And many of the employers have said to me, I just never thought about it before, but when you say it, of course, we have a responsibility to those who fought so hard to keep us safe, to provide them with job opportunities. And oftentimes what happens is they have incredible skills, but you have to help translate those skills to the private sector. And if you think about somebody who's been in Iraq responsible for transportation, well, that's completely translatable back here, but you have to help the companies do that, and there are many ways in which we're providing that conduit for the translation, and the private sector has stepped up enormously at the First Lady's request. So thank you for all of you who are hiring our veterans. And
so, final question, Valerie, and that is...
Just for the veterans.
Okay. So final question, Valerie. How do you see the nonprofit sector, volunteerism, and service playing a role in strengthening our city and our country?
Well, it's something everyone can do, and don't get the First Lady and the President started about service. Those of you who know her know how much of her life. As soon as she left her law firm after just 2 years, she figured out in a much shorter period of time than I did that wasn't necessarily where her long-term interests lay, and really focused on service. And whether it was working at Public Allies or working and serving the University of Chicago hospitals, a not-for-profit, figuring out in your life what you can do to give back. And you can, I'm always a believer that at some point in your life you should try public service. You have to have a tough skin. It's not for the faint at heart, believe me. Particularly the higher you go, you do need to have a tough skin. Let's just leave it at that. But it is so extraordinarily rewarding. But if you can't do that, volunteer, and it could be a block club, it could be a neighborhood organization, it could be your local museum or hospital board. Just get involved. And I know I'm preaching to the choir because everybody in here serves on a wide range of civic boards, and we thank you for that, because that is really what makes our country, I think, unique and strong, is our appreciation that we're not here just on our own. We are a part of a community, we're part of a society, we have a mutual responsibility to one another, and there's just never too much that you can do in service of our community. So thank you all for everything you do.